Okay, y'all. So I wanted to acknowledge some international reporting that's going on right now. When I say live, this stuff is going on right now. Um, there's some international reporting that people are discussing right now, and I'm not gonna show the footage itself. I did get some snippets. I have like a 3-minute snippet of one part, 13 minutes of some other stuff. Um, there's been some movement with some of the content getting bounced around, and because of it being limited domestically, and I'm not going to put it on my platform at this time, but I did want to share what's like being discussed, right? I want to share what's being discussed and why it's so important, because it includes claims that a significant percentage of people being held had no criminal history. You know what I'm saying? And that mirrors the concerns raised in the Amnesty International report that I just talked about, that I just covered. And that's why this matters. That's why it matters, right? People say, why does it matter? It's why it matters. These aren't isolated reactions or incidents. They're part of a broader pattern of concern around detention, right? It's a part of a bigger discussion about like detention, enforcement first policy models, um, and safeguards, or I guess you could say the lack of safeguards around them. Um, this is why I map out policy. And when I talk about like immigration enforcement and Project 25, I'm not like speculating. I'm tracking authority, executive action, and like outcomes. I'm tracking outcomes like real time, y'all. Uh, I'd be remiss to not say this. I am someone who tells people to seek out information, seek it out on your own, right? So if you choose to seek out the international coverage on your own, right? And keep in mind, this was originally a 60-minute special, right? We know 60 minutes, right? We know what that is, right? Um, right now, like I said, domestically, it's somewhat limited domestically as far as access. So it's being shown internationally. Um, I was able to procure access by leaning on my international friends and peers. If you have Canadian networks, peers, people who you feel you can just like peruse through maybe some of their public content, you might be able to find the videos. I found initially 10, and then over the course of a couple hours, I noticed that it was down to like 3 or 4. With that being said, I encourage you to practice self care, to have those kind of self care resources available to yourself, because what you see will likely disturb you, some, and it will cause you to maybe have some different experiences and feelings internally. So I would want you to exercise some caution and prepare yourself for that, to walk in like with your trauma blockers up. But your mind open to the fact that these are experiences that people are having, people are experiencing, and know that this subject matter is like really heavy. And I just really want you to like uphold and make sure you're maintaining your wellness, keeping your wellness lens intact, while also keeping like your sense of humanity intact as well, and having the open eyes to see that some people are experiencing these things. And unfortunately, we're learning some of them are experiencing with like not even having like a criminal history. Even to some of what I've seen, I don't even know if I would even want that, even if they did have said history. But that is neither here nor there. I implore you to go look at it if you feel like that is something you would be okay with doing. If not, know that it's totally okay. Know that it is supportive of what we discussed in that Amnesty report, right? And I put a couple clips throughout this video so that you can see that. Trauma blockers, though. Put the trauma blockers up and know that this is something that is circulating on social media at this time. And if you're able to see it, we'll go ahead and do so. But do it with the mindset that you will definitely need to have some self-care in place. It is some heavy material. I'm glad they were able to get the report out there so that we know what is going on and we're able to engage in our civic duties when time comes and we're permitted to be able to do just that. And be informed on what's happening, like as far as policy, procedures, and all of those kinds of things. So we can, do our part as civilians. But it is heavy topics. It's a lot going on. I will continue to report on what I have accessible. But right now, the reason you don't have a video is not because I didn't get access to it, but it doesn't appear to feel like public information because it keeps looking like it's getting moved around a little bit and shuffled. So I can't place it here. But if I find that it does become a little bit more stable in access, I will certainly add it here so that people can have a trusted space that they can pull it from. At this time, I'm just reporting out that piece. Trauma blockers up. And once again, self-care is important, so make sure you're upholding that as well. I'll see you in the next video.